Look at that, we're live. How are you doing? It is our usual Wednesday get together for the Sober Army. My name is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. It is good to see people filtering in. We have about 30 minutes together today, guys, so it's the usual format. Ask me anything. This is your chance for a bit of live coaching if you want it. If you have any problems or obstacles getting in the way of your sobriety, or if you are still paralyzed by indecision. There are a lot of people who have been waiting to get started for years, sometimes decades. And I understand how that feels. It feels like a huge decision in your life, and it's easy to procrastinate. Just remember, you don't have to do perfect. You do not have to achieve perfection. That's not the goal. Take it in small bites. And this first bite is just get started. Just make that decision. And then worry about the rest of it later. Don't be one of those people like me, overthinking everything, trying to plot the whole course out, trying to think, right, okay, well, how's it going to feel in 1 year's time? How's it going to feel on my birthday? How's it going to feel at Christmas? How's it going to feel on vacation? Forget all that nonsense. Just, what's that old saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Take the first bite. Take the first step. And if you are here today because you're worried about your drinking, then the biggest gift you can give yourself is to sign up for today's free quit drinking webinar. Go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com, and book your place. I will even give you a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as a free gift just for turning up. So let's see who we got. Stephen Hall gets the credit for being first commenter today. Well done, Stephen. Hello from Western MA. Hope everyone is doing great. Thank you, Craig, and all, I guess, for everyone in our Facebook group for the constant support. A little over 6 months and going strong. I love actually living life. Doesn't that say it all? Fantastic. Diane Bainbridge is here. Hi from the Dominican Republic, where it's beaches, sun, fun, and drinking. Doing better than I thought. Not perfect. I'm okay with sitting at dinner with friends and saying no to the flowing wine, though. That's good. That's good. The most important thing, I think, Diane, in these situations is not ones and zeros. It's not a binary situation. You don't have to be perfect, because if you set out on a vacation and you say, well, you have to be 100% perfect, you're heaping a whole load of pressure on yourself. It's better just to say, look, right now, here and now, I don't want to drink alcohol. Hopefully I'll feel like that tomorrow, but right now I don't want to. And if you do slip up, don't, throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, well, that's it. I might as well just drink like crazy for the rest of the vacation. If you slip up, treat it like you've done it anywhere else. Dust yourself down, redouble your efforts, and restart what you were doing before. But have a good time, Dan. There are lots of fun things to do that don't involve alcohol in the Dominican Republic, as you know. Guy. Hi, Craig. Been watching your videos every day since I quit booze a month ago, and they helped me tremendously. Thanks, and I'm still considering doing your course. Well, that's the perfect position to be in, Guy, because it means you're in a very strong place, because not only are you sober with a month of success behind you, you also know that you have a very powerful safety net if you do slip up. You haven't even done the course yet. So that's an amazing position to be in, because you can just pull out the big guns on the evil clown if you need to in the future. So congratulations. John is here from Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome in, John. Thank you very much. We got Stevie W. G'day and good evening. Emily is here. Good morning. New Hampshire, 8 months alcohol-free. Feels so good. Very impressed, Emily. Well done. Mark. Hi, Craig. I keep procrastinating, but I want to read your book and also take your course. How much does the course cost? Look, it's easy to blurt out a number, Mark, but the reason why it's kind of difficult to find out that number, and my website is different, because you don't just go to the website and click join now and then you get started. It doesn't work like that, because I only want to work with people who are in the right mindset. The problem with alcohol And AA suffers from this, is a lot of people do these courses because they're being told to, they're being ordered to by a judge or a spouse or someone, or they're being reluctantly forced to do it by work or something like that. And probably like 95% of these people fail to stop drinking, no matter what method they use, whether they use my method, AA, prescription medication, they all fail because they never wanted to quit in the first place. And what I never really wanted was thousands of people out there who failed with my help, but actually they're not telling the whole story. They never wanted to quit in the first place. So me kind of making this super easy for you and saying, here's the price, here's the button, press it, is not going to help you, because the big question mark here, Mark, is how much do you want this? How much do you want to escape the misery of alcohol? If you kind of do, it's not going to do it. If you really want to, but I'm not sure. How much is it? How long will it take? It's not going to work. 99% does not work against this drug. 100% works. So if you want to find out how much the course costs and how you get started, book your place on the webinar, stopdrinkingexpert.com. And that's all I'll say on it. Thanks for the comment. Guy, is it normal for mental health issues like OCD to get worse when quitting? That's a difficult one for me to answer, Guy, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a specialist in mental health. Look, all I can tell you is alcohol covers up a lot of stuff. Don't forget it is a mild anesthetic. So sometimes people say to me, Craig, I've quit drinking and now my back hurts even more. Did quitting drinking make my back worse? Well, of course not. But you're no longer consuming an anesthetic on a daily basis. So obviously you're going to be more conscious of pain. So, then some people think, well, hang on a minute then. If the alcohol's covering up my pain, is alcohol actually a benefit in my life? No, because it's still a poison. It's still killing you. It's just sleight of hand. It's taking away that pain, but instead it's giving you cancer. It's not a fair swap. And some of the things that alcohol covers up really need treatment. A lot of people with severe depression, mental health disorders like bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, all these sort of mental health issues sometimes are being covered up by the alcohol, and people don't really come to appreciate how much help they need until they stop drinking the alcohol. So if your OCD is worse as a result of quitting drinking, then make it a top priority to go and see a therapist that specializes in OCD, because maybe it's something that's been building in your subconscious and in the background, and stopping drinking has now brought it to the foreground. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you can't fight what you can't see. Now you can see it. Now you can attack it. But the bad thing is short-term, uncomfortable. So please get some help for that. Frankie. Well, Frank, I'm being over familiar. 73 days sober. Thank you for all you do. You're very welcome and congratulations. Victoria, greetings. Hi, Craig. Who helps you put your program together? Do you have assistants or a team to help you? No. I've had people working for me in the past. And I just prefer to do it all myself. What a control freak, eh? I prefer to just keep an eye on every area of it. There are some tasks that are delegated out, but most of it I do it myself. I'm a bit of a loner. Pamela, good morning from PA. Jules, hello from Seattle. Good afternoon, Craig, Elaine. Today, I will stay sober. A good policy. Let's all agree to that. Everyone watching right now, today, we stay sober. Yaya, is that right? I'm probably saying it wrong. 94 days sober, fantastic. Just wanted to ask how to deal with the dull ache. I got scanned and all okay, but it's just uncomfortable. Do you mean a dull ache in your abdomen? It's another tough question. I know what you're talking about, because that dull ache in my abdomen was the reason I really started to worry about my drinking, because it was just there permanently. And I tried everything to ignore it and pretend it wasn't happening. I even replaced the mattress on my bed, which was completely ridiculous because it didn't hurt when I lay on the other side. But that's the sort of stupidity you go to with this drug. Look, I'm not a doctor and I can't tell you what's going on in your body, and you should continue to get it investigated, of course. All I can tell you with me, that dull ache in my side, I think it was gone completely in about 6 to 8 weeks of stopping drinking. So maybe it'd take longer with you. Maybe it's something else. If you've been scanned and you've been given the complete okay by a doctor, then there is a possibility that it's not alcohol related. Could be muscular, but it could be anything. But the one thing for sure is, getting alcohol out of your system is absolutely the best first step. So maybe just give it a bit more time and keep the investigations up. Sorry, it's a bit vague. I just have to be, careful around medical issues because I'm not a doctor. And I don't want anyone to kind of come here looking for medical advice. Caesar, good morning. Vicky's in London. Motaba in Huddersfield. John is here starting a new job. Let's pull this up. John, starting a new job in 4 weeks. In my industry, wine and dinners are big for relationship building. I just passed 3 years with no alcohol. Yeah, and I've spoken to business people a lot about this. In fact, I did a coaching session a couple of weeks ago with a guy saying, look, you don't understand, Craig. In my business, deals are done with alcohol. And that sounds plausible, doesn't it? That sounds, yeah, okay, makes sense. He said, everyone in my team drinks. Okay, fine. Change the drug. This is what I always say. Change the drug. If you want to see what you're saying is logical and makes sense. If you were working in an industry where deals were done while using heroin, would you join in? No, I don't think you would. I think you would find a way to be good at your job without taking heroin. Wouldn't you? If you went to a works function, a business thing, and everyone there was having a good time and they all said, come on, we're going outside to sniff some glue. Are you coming? You wouldn't sniff some glue, would you? You wouldn't feel compelled to do that. We tell ourselves that, well, I can't do my job without alcohol because it's what we call plausible deniability. It's an excuse that seems rock solid. It's an excuse that you can't argue with. And you have lots of them around alcohol. Mine was sleeping. If I don't drink on an evening, I can't get to sleep. So if I can't get to sleep, I'm going to do a terrible job at work the next day and I'm going to get fired. So therefore, I must continue drinking. Otherwise, and you see where it goes? So it's just plausible deniability. It's, it is entirely possible to work. We've got people on this channel who are working behind a bar. They own bars and pubs, and they're chalking up years of sobriety. So it's all mindset. It's not situation. It's mindset. Rob, decades for me. Thanks again, Craig. Almost 4 years alcohol free. No fool like an old fool. Excellent. Hello from Zurich. I love your books and videos. My question is, what do you think about the non-alcohol substitutes, beers and wines? I'm okay with them. About 2 years ago, I started reviewing them. I started doing beer taste tests, these alcohol-free beers and wines, and people got very upset. People got very angry. There's quite a lot of trolls on YouTube, but people were saying, how dare you? Don't you know that this is a trigger? This is terrible. This is outrageous. Call yourself the stop drinking expert. And they haven't really been a trigger for me. I use them as a substitute for alcohol in social situations predominantly. We don't have any alcohol-free beer in the house right now. There's no alcohol-free spirits or wine or anything like that. It's generally quite nice to stand in a bar with friends holding something. If you just stand there with a Coke in your hand, people try and pressure you. People ask what you're drinking. And then you have to get into that whole conversation. Oh, I don't drink. Oh, really? Why not? I talk about this all the time. Can I just have some peace and quiet? So if you stand there with a bottle of non-alcohol beer in your hand and you hand over the label, people just leave you alone. So from that point of view, I love it. I think they're ridiculously expensive. And I think the alcohol industry is basically just robbing us. If you look at the alcohol-free spirits, go and have a look in a supermarket that sells non-alcoholic gin, and you will find it costs the same as alcoholic gin. Why? Why? All right, they're both in a glass bottle. They both have to be transported, but the alcohol is being heavily taxed with alcohol duty. So something like 50% of the price you're paying for that bottle of gin is going to the government. The government are taking it in tax. So why then are the drinks manufacturers charging the same price for non-alcoholic spirits? Because they're a bunch of bastards, that's why. And they're fleecing us. And for that reason alone, I feel uncomfortable buying it, because I just don't want to put money into the pockets of the likes of Diageo or any of these other producers of alcohol. So that's kind of my take on alcohol-free drinks. 40 days sober. Good man. Wow, really? Johnny Cola, I lost a good mate to drinking. He went out in the lash and didn't see the next day. Of course, happens all the time, doesn't it? Happens all the time. Vaughn, Finland checking in. Thank you for all you do, Craig. Thank you, Vaughn. Emily, I know some do not like alcohol-free wine, but I enjoy it occasionally. However, it's getting harder to find in stores in New England, USA. Ordering it online is very much more expensive. Any thoughts? Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it, because it kind of just it tastes like apple ties. It feels like a soft drink to me when I taste it. It's quite sweet often. And you have a glass, and you're like, I don't really want any more of that. I had some very nice alcohol-free champagne on, I believe it was a Qatar Airlines flight from Larnaca to Doha. And if you want to experience luxury travel with an alcohol-free option, fly some of the Middle Eastern airlines, because they have some fantastic, really top quality wines and beers that are alcohol-free, obviously. And they do mocktails and all sorts. Fantastic. But it is expensive. I had a very nice bottle of rosé, sparkling rosé, that I got from Harrods in London, but it was £30 for a bottle, so like $40. Crazy expensive for what is fruit juice, basically. Brad, I still get cravings at nice restaurants because I feel left out of the theater when they pour the wine and swirl the glass. Yeah, it's funny. When my daughter comes to visit, obviously she tastes the wine, and you can see she really wants to do the whole theater. She wants to swirl it. She's been on a vineyard tour in Italy where they taught her how to swirl the wine properly, but she can't do it because I'm watching. She knows that I'll just rip her to pieces. I'll just laugh at her so much if she swirls the wine. Anyway, Ellie, good morning. 7 months yesterday. Fantastic. Stephen Hall with a very good point. Don't forget to hit the like button. Do it now. Do it now. It's the single biggest thing you can do to help promote the channel. Mark else. What else we got here? I have my friend's 40th coming up in a few months, and I'm afraid of the peer pressure to drink. My friend will probably be upset if I don't. What should I do? It's a weird drug, isn't it? That people would get upset with you if you don't drink the poison. I mean, it's a tough one. I guess there's a couple of ways of doing it, and it depends on your relationship with this person. If you're the best of friends and you've known each other for years and you care about each other, then maybe you need to have a conversation ahead of time and say, look, just so you know, alcohol is really playing havoc with me. I hate the way it's making me feel at the moment. I really feel ill when I drink. I don't know what's going on. It just makes me feel terrible. So I'm off the alcohol, so I won't be drinking at your birthday. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Listen, don't give me any pressure, because I'm not doing it to upset you. I'm doing it for health reasons. It makes me feel ill. Now, if he still insists that you must drink at his 40th, basically what he's saying is, I don't care if you feel terrible, you will drink poison with me. And, if you really do care about each other, I don't think he's going to be able to come to that conclusion. So that's one way. The other way is you just have none of it. If you think about it, if someone talked about a subject that was really traumatic for you in a social situation, if someone was joking about something that you'd been through and you found it very offensive, you wouldn't just sit there quietly laughing along, would you? Going, that's not bothering me. You'd say, hey, don't do that. Don't talk about that. And everyone would know that you were serious about it. And there'd be that little awkward silence, and then things would move on. Sometimes that's how you have to be about alcohol. People keep pushing you, have a drink. Why can't you have a drink? You're not being social. Just have a drink. You just have to say, stop it. Don't ask me again. I'll drink what I want. And you have to be that kind of forthright with them. And they do step back and they go, what's your problem? But then they know that's where the line is. And then you just do what you want to do. The problems come, I find, when you try and be nice about it. When you try and, make excuses. Oh, I'll have one in a minute. Or I'm just going to have this Coke and then I'll get on. Or I'm on tablets from the doctor. Or, I'm just on a bit of a health kick. It's when you try and make it easy for them that it gets harder for you, because then they see a chink in your armor and they keep pushing. The best thing to do, line in the sand. I'm not having any of it. Don't ask me again. And just boss it, basically. Alex, late to the party. Stay behind and do lines. Michael, hi, Beck. He's the only man who calls me back. Doing great with alcohol. You mean without alcohol? Judy, 900 days alcohol-free in a couple of days. Let's hear it for Judy Cook. Fantastic. Why does AA say you're always an alcoholic, even if you stop? Why stop then if you still will be an alcoholic? Well, it's a good point. And it's one of the reasons I didn't like AA, is because the implication was that there was something fundamentally broken about me. In fact, I was so broken, I was going to be broken for the rest of my life. No matter how much therapy I had, no matter how long I stayed sober, I, according to AA, was going to be a broken, weak-willed individual until the day I die. And that for me just wouldn't sit right. Wouldn't sit right. So I don't know the answer, Brad. I don't know. I'm sure they have a reason. And it's the reason I can guess is probably that they don't want you to have even 1% consideration that you're cured. They don't want you to think just for a moment that you can have a drink because it's been 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and so on. That's their way of getting the message across that you can never go back. And if you do go back, you'll just go straight back into the cycle where you left it off. So perhaps their intentions were good, but without a little further explanation, it kind of feels a bit negative, doesn't it? Laurie, 76 days. Nice. Facebook user. Hi, Craig. Paul here from Ireland, currently in Lanzarote on my first alcohol-free holiday, enjoying quality time with my family. 2.7 years alcohol-free. Your book led me to the course. Best decision ever. I would highly recommend the course. I am living proof. Fantastic, Paul, and enjoy Lanzarote and those volcanoes and all that wind. Is it really windy there? Last time I was there, it's crazy windy. Guy, Stephen says, if they're truly your friend, they will understand. If they don't, then ... Tom from Sarasota, Florida, 38 days and loving it in 3 days. I'll have gone without drinking longer than any time in my life that I can remember. Okay, good. Alex Mack. Did ancient tribe civilizations have addiction problems, or maybe they didn't have the spare time like us? I'm thinking like jungle tribes. Well, this is a question I've been asked before. People say, well, hang on a minute, Craig, back in medieval times, they didn't used to drink water. Everyone used to drink mead, used to drink alcohol for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, how come it was okay for them and it's not okay for us now? And the answer to that is, of course, the reason why it was better to drink alcohol back then was the water would kill you. The water was so infested with parasites that you would die from drinking it. And so they would drink alcoholic beverages because the alcohol killed the parasites. Now, that doesn't mean they led very healthy, long lives, because the average lifespan of a human male go back 200-300 years, it would have been like 35 years old. So most people would have died anyway before they developed many problems from alcohol. So it's a completely different time, and it doesn't really translate to today because our lifespans are generally longer, and we're getting old enough to see problems occurring. And honestly, back in the day, they had bigger problems. Aaron, good afternoon, Craig. 5.5 years into my sober life, and your channel was my first port of call. And I also add that it was important to replace alcohol with something positive. I now run park runs every week. Perfect text. Yes, you got to replace the alcohol. Do not leave a vacuum. If you leave a vacuum, you are leaving the door ajar for the evil clown to come in and get you. Because if you don't replace the alcohol, it means you're going to have probably 25% more hours in a week where you're just sitting there going, and now what? Oh, I'm bored, I'm lonely. And then the clown comes in. Trish, hi everyone. Feeling so great here in Florida at 6 months plus sober. And I have Craig and his Facebook group, YouTube and program to thank. Read the book, take the course, it works. Sorry, read the book, take the course, it works. Be well, everyone. Thank you very much, Trish. Kobe Cat, morning from Texas. Trevor in Ohio, day 4. Trevor, yeah, on day 4, had 2 years, and it only took one drink to ruin it. That's why I always tell people about the 5 most dangerous words on planet Earth. And if you ever find yourself saying these 5 words or thinking them, punch yourself in the face as hard as you can, because this is the last thing you will hear before something bad happens. Just one drink won't hurt. Just one drink won't hurt. Dangerous. Ronnie, I will be sober today. Amen. Good. Didn't know how much of a loner I was until I got sobriety in my life. I know what you mean, Rob. When I quit drinking, my life changed. I worked for myself. I didn't work in an office anymore, and a lot of things changed. And I felt a bit lonely for quite a while. I was quite upset and worried that I don't have many friends. I've got some good friends, but I don't have lots of friends. I'm not surrounded by friends. And what's wrong with me? Maybe I should get working on that. And it took me a long time to realize that I actually just prefer being on my own most of the time. I don't have a lot of tolerance for small talk and chit chat and that sort of stuff. So I think I've just accepted it now. I've accepted that predominantly I like to be on my own, and I'm okay with that. I like to have a bit of human interaction, but nothing dramatic. Was your liver able to fully recover after your dull pain? How long did the recovery take? I don't know how long it took because I felt good. So I didn't have any blood tests done. When I was at the peak of my drinking, my ALT and AST levels were very, very high. There was certainly a lot of trauma going on in my liver at the time. I had a liver test, I think about 6 months to a year ago, and the numbers were fine. Kidney was fine, pancreas fine. The only problem I have too many red blood cells. I have too much red blood. But I don't know how long it took, but all I know is I felt fine, so I didn't bother testing it. Brittany, good morning from New Mexico. Angela, greetings from Sydney, Australia. Tina in Greece, celebrating my 2 years today. Fantastic. Stephen, blah, blah, blah. People drink to escape reality. Okay. Well, of course they do. I'm not sure what your point is, Stephen. Yeah, I think you're right, Kelly. I don't care what people think about what I'm drinking, but an alcohol-free beer is much better with a hot dog than a soda at a baseball game. Yeah, soda's too sweet. Let's have a look. Dale, 35 days today. Listen to Alcohol Lie to Me about 10 times. Fantastic. Good stuff. All right, but I'm going to look for my last comment now because I got to wrap up. I only have 30 minutes today. Let's see who's going to get the last comment. Let's give it to Claire Louise Smith. Here we go. 104 days, alcohol-free, thanks to your books and live sessions, now being labeled the healthy one amongst my drinking buddies, and that they will soon take care of that. No, they won't. Yeah, keep your guard up. You know they want you back on that bus. But fantastic on 104 days. Keep going, Claire. You're doing amazing. All right, listen, thank you very much for being here, everyone. Thanks for turning up. Thanks for taking time out of your diary to just attend this little Sober Warrior get-together. And we'll all get together again in about a week. See you next week. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.
Discover the world's most successful and respected online quit drinking program today.
It gives you real mental freedom from the clutches of alcohol.
Craig Beck helps you understand what alcohol does to you, how it works.
Are you finally ready to take action? Your sober journey begins 11 a.m. Sunday. Reserve your space at my next free quit drinking webinar.